Greetings and welcome to the Power Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dawson. Joined as always by fellow hosts, Johnny Paulus and Kim Ponticello.
I can't do the Spider-Man eyes.
Kim, let's start with you. How are you doing today?
I am great. I'm great. I still have shoulder troubles. That's still making me crazy. But I am I'm actually really great. Can't complain.
Wonderful to hear. Welcome in. Johnny Paulus.
Yo.
Welcome into the show, sir. How are you doing this week?
I'm doing good. So I took some time off for spring break to enjoy some time with the kids. And as it was getting closer to the end of the week, and I was off those days, I started looking at the bank account going, man, money's a little tight right now. I might have a hard time paying everything on time. I got to figure this out. And then middle of the day, Friday, I get a text from Waterman's, my local bar, and said, hey, we just had somebody cancel. Are you available? Yes. Cha-ching. There's $300. While I'm at that gig, there's another guy that's like, oh yeah, we do these weekend parties all the time. What do you charge? I'm like, $100 an hour. They're like, we're having an Egger Kegger tomorrow. Will you come play for 2 hours at our party? I was like, sure. So I go play that. There's another $200 plus tips, another $100. I made like $700.
Hey, that's awesome!
Completely out of nowhere. I mean, I had no gigs, and then had 2 gigs. They were both in the neighborhood, and I made stupid money. Like no fuss, no muss. Was awesome. So I had a great weekend, and yeah, I've been gaming hard. Although I don't have a list, I have been gaming very, very hard.
Yeah. What was it? Amy took a day off from work to take one of the kids to the doctor, but putting her time, I guess, wrong. So I lost $700.
Yikers!
Because her employer won't go back and edit how the time off request was put in. So just oof.
Ouch.
It's fine. You know how I am. I've got the magic sock drawer and everything. I was just like, son of a bitch. Come on. Whatever money's lost, I'm kind of like I'm a little bit of a Scrooge McDuck.
Right.
But I always immediately go like $700 vanishes. I go, that's a fucking Fender P bass that I could enjoy for the rest of my life.
True
Assholes.
That. True that.
Welcome in, listeners, viewers, people from afar. This is episode 154 of your Power Gamer Podcast. As always, we appreciate your kindness and support. And wherever you check out our show, whether it's on YouTube and you hit likes and subscribes on our wonderful videos, if it's on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and you leave us kind 5-star reviews, whatever it is you choose to do, we appreciate it greatly. Let's not beat around the bush today. We've got some big fucking topics to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
At the top, I have an announcement. Personal paradigm shift, if you will. I took, probably close to 100 physical games off of my shelf, and I sold them.
That's amazing.
They are gone. And I did it because I made a decision that anything newer than the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii U, anything newer than that era is a complete waste of space, time, and energy to own physical copies of. So I am now, I feel so much better having all that shit off of my shelf. Because it sucks. Every time you look at it, you go, well, yeah, that's really cool. I've got this game that was updated 10 minutes before it even was released, and I could never actually play without an internet connection, thus completely defeating the point of owning this physical property. But then also, too, like with how good PlayStation Plus and Extra and Premium are, it's like, God, I own all of these games anyway. Get this shit off my shelf. Let me just go back to focusing on the things that meant a lot. So PS3, Xbox 360. That is the cutoff. and everything prior, I'll still collect physically for. I actually feel motivated to collect physically for those systems again, now that I have the space. And yeah, I'm embracing the digital future. So
I'm proud of you, Mike.
Look at you.
hey, I'm growing up,
grown up.
guys. Growing up. Now I did make a great decision, and it's actually one that benefits both Johnny and Kim. I saved 2 games from the shelf
Yeah, I'm very curious.
from that era. So for Johnny, who's been asking me probably for 3 months, hey man, can I borrow your copy of The Last of Us Part 1? Guess what, Johnny? You now own The
You're
Last
gonna give
of
it to
Us.
me?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's yours. You now own The Last of Us Part 1. And I don't give a fuck what you do with it after you beat it, because it's yours. That is now
Awesome.
your
Thank you, Mike.
game. So congratulations,
Hell yeah.
Kim.
Yes.
You too are receiving a game off the shelf. I'm going to stick it
Yeah.
in the mail and send it to you. And you now own your very own copy of the Smash PS5 hit,
Yeah.
Gollum.
You motherfucker. You motherfucker. Unbelievable. Johnny gets Last of Us and I get.
I decided to pick games that each of you told me you wanted. And unfortunately, Kim, the last game you told me I had that I should send to you is Gollum. So congratulations.
I can't-
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you, right? So I was like, I was in chat one day with everybody and I was like, I'm like, wow, Mike got rid of so many games. He sold his collection of games. But he kept 2, one for Johnny and one for me. I'm so excited to know what it is.
Yeah, it's Gollum.
I get one of the single greatest video games and one of the greatest pieces of like entertainment art ever. And you get Gollum.
I get something my community is dying for me to play, though.
Uh-huh.
Because they just want to torture me. Same with Walking Dead. They all loved watching me play the Walking Dead Destinies.
See?
They loved it. They literally ate it up because I raged through half the damn game.
It was
This
great.
is great.
So, yes,
Great.
Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
I look forward
you.
to your oncoming
Thank you.
reviews
I'm Johnny, and I got Last of Us.
of these wonderful
Fucking
games.
awesome. I'm so pumped. Thank you.
So,
I'm pumped
physical
too.
games, yeah, they're new ones. They are officially dead to me. Rest in peace. New
Yeah.
games.
Rest in peace is right.
That is a big shift for Mike.
It really
Like,
is.
A year
Pretty
ago,
amazing.
you would have been like, you bought it digital? Ugh.
Well, it speaks to how many it was, that it was thousands of dollars
Right.
trading that in. So, yeah, they're gone. It feels great. And I
Pretty amazing.
walked out of the game store with cash in my bank account and a copy of Suikoden for PS1
Fuck
and
yeah.
the original Xenogears. So 2 incredibly rare games.
Yeah.
And
That it pays off.
the best payoff of all this is that I get an award-winning game.
Yeah. Yeah, the dumpster fire of the year is coming your way.
I can't wait.
I might have to ship it on a pallet.
I look forward to the TikToks of Kim screaming at that fucking game.
My community is going to thank you. I'm sure of it.
Speaking of Kim,
Yes, that's me.
where is Kim? So we're breaking the fourth wall a little bit. One of my segments for this week is actually about Kim. Because Kim, as some of you may know and some of you may not know, Kim does this shit full time. And I figured this would be a great spot for you to maybe disclose some of the changes that you've made, and also tell these kids out there, this full-time streaming thing, it's not exactly a walk in the park, is it?
It's hard. It's rough. It's like picture your brain trying to think of the things that you can do on a daily basis to make things better, but never shutting off. That's full-time streaming. Never shutting off never stopping. My Saturdays are literally the day that I spend with my partner, and he quite literally is like, shut off, like now. I don't want to hear about streaming. You're not going to talk about streaming. You're not going to talk about content. You're not going to check your email. You're not going to get any touch with any business contacts. Like Saturday is like the day I shut down. But other than that, yeah, I used to stream twice a day. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I would stream twice a day, 4 hours per stream. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, yeah. And then Wednesday I would just do one long stream, and Thursday I would do one long stream. And I switched it, and now I'm doing just long streams, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. About I say 6 hours, but sometimes I get caught up in a game and I'll go like 7 or 8 hours. But I think what people don't know is like, have you ever seen that like iceberg image of like the work that people see, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you have the
see a
iceberg
little
and
bit
it's like
above
all
the
the work.
surface.
And so streaming, I spend about 36 hours, maybe 32, 36 hours streaming. And then, but what people don't know is on top of that, you have all the social media, all the business contacts, all of the editing, all of the other stuff you have to do, like preparing your schedule, putting your schedule out there. And, you know, analytics are huge, you know, going through all of your numbers and seeing what you can do better and seeing what you can change. And it's literally just never shutting off. And I know one of the things you talked about is like a work-life balance in the notes. And I think that's where it's going to be hard once I move, because right now it's kind of easy because I don't have to balance because it's all about me. Like my kids are grown adults. So I don't have to really do anything. Like if I don't want to cook, my son can make ramen or he'll make rice and fried egg for us or something, you know? When I move and I am actually in a relationship in person, as opposed to long distances, when it's going to be a little bit tough because I tend to get very hyper focused. As some of you may or may not know, I am neurospicy. And so I kind of tend to get a little bit hyper focused, and I tend to kind of get into my own little bubble and my own little world. And out of sight, out of mind is like a really big thing with neurospicy people. And I am pretty much the poster child for that. So like to the point where my partner was visiting and I was editing, and he literally came over to see if I needed a cup of coffee, and I jumped out of my skin because I forgot he was here visiting from the Netherlands. Okay. So poor Pite. He's the most patient man in the universe. I don't mask around him, which is gigantic, because I've promised myself I would stop masking around everybody. So everybody who's in my community puts up with me the way I am. And he puts up with me in real life the way I am. And it's going to be definitely an interesting thing once I move and I have to balance a relationship. And I'm going to be in the Netherlands. I want to go out and see things and go to the tulip fields, and I want to do some IRL. It's so funny because I'm like, I want to go see everything. I can't wait to stream it.
Oh, Lord.
And everybody is like,
I can't wait to enjoy the real outdoors, but I'll stream it because it's content.
Hey, everybody, look what I found. I found herring. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to go back to having to manage a relationship. But he is very patient and very understanding. But he's also Dutch. And I don't know if any of you know, but the Dutch are very honest and very blunt people.
Yep.
You know, so he is one to say, like, he's flat out told me on Saturdays when I'm like, wait, hold on, let me check my email. He will literally be like, absolutely not, you know, because he's just blunt and Dutch, you know, and it's one of the things I love about Dutch people so much is that they're just honest and blunt. And he is super mellow guy. And so he kind of like keeps me in check with that kind of stuff and is like, no, you need a day. The Dutch are great at relaxing. And so he's like, you need to like start to understand that it's very different in Netherlands. It's like you have your days to relax and you do it. You don't feel bad about it, you know, yep. Which is tough. It's tough, especially in content creation. You know, it's tough to remember that it's okay to relax. Nobody's going to forget you if you take off for 2 days.
Well, and American culture is so built around from the
That's what I
moment
was gonna say.
from
Yeah.
the moment you're like
Yep.
in high school,
Yep.
just training you to be the ultimate worker bee that never takes breaks.
Yeah,
Yep.
and if you take time off, you're lazy.
That's right.
If you take a day to not do anything and you're lazy. Yep. So, but yeah, it's going to be I talk about streaming a lot on stream. Because I think it's something that people don't it's one of those weird one thing I've noticed with streaming, and this is a really weird phenomena, is I think because people I always tell everybody, if you feel like you want to try streaming, just try it. It doesn't hurt to try it. You know what I mean? But it's not for everybody. Just like any other hobby, any other career, it's not for everybody. And I think people have this weird idea that because they like gaming, they should like streaming. But it's two totally different worlds, because you can't really get engrossed in a game when you're streaming, because you have chat, especially when you have a chat like mine who's full of trolls that love to just taunt me and tease me. You can't just get engrossed in a game. And so it's this weird phenomenon with streaming that people start to stream and they feel like they can't stop because they're supposed to like it. But it's not the case, it's not for everybody. And it's definitely a very strange career. It's a very strange platform. All the people you meet you meet amazing people, but you also meet some very strange people. It's you have this like really bizarre, like you have the people who support you and want to be there with you and love to see you succeed. And then you have the people who want you to fail. Right. And it's like
the hate watchers.
It is so bizarre, especially when you start interacting with somebody on the hate side and then start to realize they're on the hate side. And then you also have the people who are like, I'm interacting with you because I want to like use you. So it's a really weird career. Do I love it? Yes. I love it so much.
the people using you as a springboard.
Yes. Yeah.
Especially when they're like crafty with it, and like they'll come hang out for a month before they start going, oh, did I ever mention I do this?
Oh.
Yeah. I had somebody recently who like came in and they were like, I just got done playing Black Ops, and I was like, okay, cool. And they were like on stream, and I was like, don't do that. Like, I won't ban you, but many communities will. And I started telling them just how difficult it is. And their response was, well, with everything you're saying, maybe I shouldn't, then I'm just going to stop. And I'm like, well, if you're thinking you need to stop just based on what I said, then maybe you should stop. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
But it's not, it's not all rainbows and unicorns like people may think it is. It's a really tough gig. And I'm literally like check to check, and I'm one of the lucky ones who I got affiliate back in, oh my God, August of 2018. I made affiliate.
That's about when I did too. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. No, I was all day the moment I got home from work. I went hard in the paint on it for, probably, almost a year. And it was entirely on the back of Gran Turismo 7, which, so I had kind of a niche thing that had a big following, but nobody streaming. And I just fucking hated it. I'm that person that like, not for me. I hate sitting still for that long. I don't like narrating everything that I'm doing. Yeah. So
That's the hard part.
I was one of the people you're talking about. It's like I went through it, and I just absolutely hated it, and finally said, you know what, this is cool. I could do something with this, but no. I'm gonna do something else.
It's not for everybody, and it's not the easiest thing to do. And I'm one of the lucky people. I made affiliate, and I've never not gotten a paycheck, right? But that doesn't always mean the paychecks are good.
Right.
And I think sometimes people think that, that they're going to be able to, you can't just get on and stream and make money. Simple as that, and there's a lot of nuance to it. And it's a really hard, interesting thing, but I really love it a lot. Am I a masochist? Maybe. But I really love it, and so
what's that independence of being your own boss?
I mean,
Not a
I've
lot of
been my
people
own
get to
boss
do.
for years. I was a dog trainer and pet sitter, and I was my own boss for years and years and years. And then I developed PTSD from aggressive dogs and couldn't train dogs anymore. And so I was like, I was already streaming, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to pour my heart into it. And I love working for myself. But the benefit of not working for yourself is that you can shut off. Like, you go to work for somebody and you come home and you're like, I'm done for the day. Yay. You know, whereas with streaming, it's like literally I sat down to do this and I instantly got on my email because I'm waiting for some really amazing news that I can hopefully tell next week, maybe. But like, you know, it's like you just don't shut off, you know, and it's not for everybody. But I also encourage everybody, if you're interested in trying it, like, just try it to know if you don't like it or if you like it, you know, simple as that.
I have to see what's
We'll see
coming
how it
out.
goes once I'm living with somebody again. It's going to be very different, but we'll see.
Now I have to see what's coming out soon. I can probably piece this one together. Well, thank you for doing that bit. I kind of threw you to it this week. I was like, I'm gonna make a segment about Kim.
I could talk about this. Like, I love helping people getting started. I love helping people get started in streaming and talking them through it and the good and the bad. And I'm very transparent. Like, people have flat out asked me, how much do you make per month? And I will show them my numbers every single month. I don't care, because I want people to know what it's like. You know, I could talk about it all day. I love talking about streaming and content creation, and it's one of my passions. You know, there's that hyper focus. I could literally talk about it all day with people.
Now it's time to turn my attention to my other co-host.
This is the part I've been waiting for.
It's the part I've been dreading. Okay, go ahead.
So I've been playing this year a lot of games on Johnny's recommendation. We actually kind of went through and found that only 3 of the games that I've completed this year were ones that I just played on my own that were Johnny recommended games. And as many of you know, for the few that don't, if you're new here, welcome. I'm one of those stands where it's like all-time favorite game, you know, Chrono Trigger always is part of that conversation for me. And so when Sea of Stars came out, all the comparisons to Chrono Trigger went flying wild. And you know, Johnny, you jumped on Sea of Stars right away when it came out. And I mean, instantly smitten by it. Just love this game. I'm going to talk about it more here in a minute, but I finally did get around to playing this game myself. I love JRPGs. I definitely love ones that are styled in the vein of Chrono Trigger. And I mean, this thing had its hooks in me deep. And I actually went through playing it on PlayStation, and I got the platinum trophy on it. So I'm in a very low percentile of people who have actually done everything in this game. But part of why I did that was because on episode 136, Johnny was telling me and all of you listeners about the true ending of the game. And the true ending takes a lot of work to get. And so when I was on my quest for the true ending, there's this one place in the moorlands in the game that I don't think this is really a spoiler, but as you complete the different things that need to happen in order to unlock the true ending, sort of like this Stonehenge looking thing, and the different pillars around it begin to light up as you complete the different things. And so I wasn't quite sure where I was at, so I went to go visit the thing, and nothing on it was lighting up for me at all. And I'm like, man, what's going on with this? And then I got this great idea. I said, well, you know what? Johnny totally did all of this. Let me go look at his achievements and see which ones I'm missing that he has. And if I go and do those, then I'll get the true ending, because Johnny told us all about getting the true ending and how that
He
pushed,
did. It was pretty
and
epic.
how getting that in particular pushed the game from being a 9 to a 9.5. Just the experience of getting the true ending for this game.
It was heartfelt. I felt it.
And
Felt it.
so I was really surprised actually when I went and I saw that he only had about half the achievements in the game. I thought, well, wait a second. How did he get the true ending if he's only got half the achievements in the game? Is it a different list of items between the PlayStation and Xbox where he played it? So I began digging in, and Johnny, I couldn't help but notice that something wasn't really adding up. And so I came and I asked you about it. And I said, hey, I'm kind of stuck here. I know that you did this. What happened? So, Johnny, I'm going to turn it over to you now, because I really think only you can explain
Sure.
what had happened here.
Okay. Yep. So I rolled the regular credits, the not true ending, and then I figured out the list of things that I needed to do to get the true ending, and I spent probably a week grinding toward it and doing this and did that, and that pillar's lit up, and did this and that's ready, and did this and that's ready. And here's my defense. So as a podcast host, I often feel the draw that I must be productive in my gaming. Nobody wants to hear me talk about the same game for 3 fucking months. So that week, Hellboy came out. Alan Wake 2 was about to come out, so I wanted to get Alan Wake 1 out of the way. And yeah, I fibbed. I Googled the true ending to see what happens, and I went, wow, that's really fucking cool that that's what the true ending is.
But with heart, you did this for the content.
It was 100% for the content.
I get it.
100% for the content.
I get it. For all of you.
So, Power Gamer podcast listeners, I apologize that I lied to you. I have not had the true ending, but I will accept my penance and I will go back and finish it, because I feel like I'm probably 80%, 90% of the way through all the extra shit at the end. I did a lot of it. I didn't do all of it. So Mike is chuckling because he thinks I have like 20 more hours left. I don't think I do. I don't think
you
it'll
don't
take me
have 20
much.
hours left, but
I probably got a good 5.
It only took me a week of actually engaging with the game to get the platinum trophy and 100% the thing. So
now, do you regret my recommendation?
All right, so he's handing me the sword back, and Johnny, I'm gonna warn you real quick.
Oh boy,
you didn't really fall on that bad boy. You kind of leaned on it and said, "Ow, this hurts. This doesn't feel good," and pulled back. So I'm gonna run you through real quick.
Okay.
And just to be clear to our listeners, for those that care, we're not ever gonna lie to anyone about anything that we complete. Because that's not okay, and there's no content that's worth that. So yeah, it's been funny because I wasn't expecting that to be the outcome, because there was such conviction that it happened. And yeah, on one side of the coin, that conviction is what led me to press through and do it myself.
See?
I really felt it. I was like, man, I gotta play this game. I mean, I still do want to play the game. Don't get me wrong.
Still have to play this game.
I literally have a viewer wanting to sponsor me to play that game. I'm not even kidding you. That's how much they love it.
It's fantastic.
Man, if you have somebody that's willing to pay you to play that game, whew, take that money and run.
Fuck yeah.
On the other hand, though, it doesn't feel great to feel like you've been misled. So if anyone's in that boat besides me, I have a very long-standing relationship with Johnny where I find this kind of shit just funny because I get it and I get where it's coming from. And yeah, keeping up with games in order to do a weekly podcast is fucking tough to to have things to talk about. But I don't think anybody would have minded if he said, well, there's all this shit, and yeah, I just watched the video and tied everything together. I think that would have been fine as well.
Okay, that's fair. Again, I do apologize. I wasn't trying to be. I was just.
Hey, we're not hiding it, so
No, and again, I went
people,
at it.
People have done worse. I'm just saying.
I went at it with every intention of 100%ing the game, but then there's this fucking train behind me of all these new games, and I'm like, man, it's going to be another week of me talking about Sea of Stars if I don't fucking move on.
Yeah. It's a good lesson learned, because if the show grows the legs that I hope one day it will, people check all the time to see what their favorite gamers are doing. And it's much better to have one of your best friends catch it versus some internet troll that then wants to burn your entire existence out because you watched a video instead of playing the thing.
Cancel him!
Again, I accept my penance. I will go back and 100% the game because I told so many people to do it. But I do still recommend doing so.
Now, the surprise twist here is this, and that is, I want to tell people that it's actually okay. And Johnny, I'm telling you this too. It's okay to not 100% video games. There's so many games coming out, so many more than is even necessary by the thousands. The amount of games that comes out now, and this is just in the last 10 years, is absolutely absurd. And it's everything's all tied together. Why there's all the layoffs in the industry, why things get buried, why things get review bombed. If you think back to when Lost Planet came out, imagine people being excited about the release of Lost Planet in 2024. No. The reason why people were excited about it was because when that game came out, nothing had been released on the Xbox in like 4 months. We were all sitting around twiddling our thumbs going, man, Gears of War was great. I can't wait for another game, just a game, to come out on my Xbox 360, because there was no digital store other than Alien Hominid and Geometry Wars at that time. That was it. That was the digital marketplace back then.
Yep.
So things have changed tremendously, where used to, you had time to 100% Lost Planet when it came out, but in a very short order of time, now we have to pick and choose what games we interact with. All three of us haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 yet, which is like one of the best games of all time.
Game.
I know.
Can I add something to this too?
Go for it.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure Johnny feels this way. Mike, I know you feel this way. And Johnny, I'm pretty sure you're going to feel this way because you're not an elitist, you're not a gatekeeper. But I think not only is it okay to not 100% a game, it's okay to play a game in easy mode.
Oh, yeah.
That's like something that some people like.
Countless times, 100%.
It is totally okay to play a game in easy mode. There's nothing wrong with it. I feel like there are so many people who make you feel less than, or attempt to anyway, if you play a game in easy mode. There is nothing wrong with literally, especially a story game, and just wanting to get through the story and enjoy the story without smashing your face into the keyboard. There's nothing wrong with easy mode. I mean, I say it all the time. Alan Wake 2 was meant to be played in easy mode. I really firmly believe that, to get through the story and to really soak it in. And then there's New Game Plus, and then you can play it in a harder mode. But I really feel like there are some games that are play it in easy mode. Who cares? Get through the story and love it. Enjoy it. That's why we're playing,
Mm-hmm. You basically, with that, nailed down everything else I had to say, which is, just be who you are. And Johnny and Kim, just be who you are. You don't have to impress me or anybody that listens to this show. So I don't want anybody to ever have to feel that pressure. The flip side is, don't fib about something that you haven't done.
It's fair.
But I get why that happened. It's the pressure of, being in a situation that is tough. But fuck them.
And I was still very much hooked on that game. It wasn't like, God, I can't wait to not play this game. It was, I can't have another week where I'm talking. I'd be like, at that point, I'd been gushing about Sea of Stars for like 3 weeks straight. I had to move on. I had to. But I did not have to say that I had 100% of what I didn't. So again, I do apologize. I was not trying to be misleading, but I was, and I apologize.
And I thought that would be fun to share because I know every motherfucker on the planet, including anyone who's listening to the show, has probably fibbed about something they've done before. And you know what? It's okay. But I think we've all done it at some point. I'm sure we all have.
I think so too, yeah.
It's all good. Just be true to yourselves, and we like you all perfectly for who you actually are. So positive spin, unexpected positive twist on the end. I don't want to beat up Johnny too bad. It's Johnny. Who doesn't love Johnny Paulus? I mean, come on. Yeah, that's
adore that guy.
It's a juxtaposition that I've always had to deal with, especially with our old work cohorts. That Johnny was well loved, and very select few people liked Mike Dawson. Because I can be a bit much.
I'm going to go on a record saying that I'm probably the most. Johnny's easy. You can be a bit much. I'm probably the most.
Fair. That's why we get along well.
I think so too, yeah.
Moving on, obviously, I guess I'll just round out what we've been playing because I've kind of already gotten started on it. But now it's time for me to share how I felt about Sea of Stars. So, played it start to finish. I am obviously very familiar with the material that harkens back to, which is Chrono Trigger. And of which it is strikingly similar. It really wears that influence on its sleeve hard. What's the best way to sum up Sea of Stars? Sea of Stars is very linear in terms of its presentation. It's very go here, do this, do this, do this, and this is the order that you're going to do it in. But it really works for it. It's got excellent pacing to it. The combat in it is very well done. It's part Chrono Trigger, part Octopath Traveler. And what I mean by that is you see the enemies out in the game world and you can run into them or you can dodge them. And when you engage with them, it breaks into a turn-based combat mode. But that turn-based combat mode is basically identical to Octopath Travelers, where it's a hard set time limit, so there's no real-time timer for actions like there is in Chrono Trigger. Or Final Fantasy VII is another one that had the real-time timer. It is actually turn-based. But then also, just like Octopath Traveler, it has locks based on ability on the enemies when they're casting spells. So there's always this cool cracking the code, so to speak, when you're in combat of, well, to stop this spell from being cast, I have to do blunt damage, I have to do solar damage, I have to do poison damage, and I have to do arcane. And I only have 2 turns to pull off these 4 abilities against this guy. How the fuck am I going to do it? And playing that puzzle figure out game with different combo attacks that you can do with your other party members, and who has the arcane magic, who has toxic, who has solar, in order to overcome stopping those abilities from being cast that will ultimately just fucking destroy your party. So it's really cool. I love that it borrowed kind of from two of my favorite role-playing game combat systems. I thought that worked really well for it too. It felt fresh and unique in Sea of Stars. The game's pacing is fantastic. I think I said that already, but what I mean by that is it doesn't take a terribly long time to beat this game. To really beat it, I think that, you know, it's a bit misleading to say there's a regular ending and a true ending when the two endings are actually linear. So there's no ability to get a true ending without getting, what is described as the regular ending. It's a linear experience. So to me, it's really just there's one ending and you either get to it or you don't. So in my outlook, I've beat Sea of Stars, and I don't say that Johnny, hasn't gotten the true ending. I just say you haven't beat it, because there really is only one ending. It's a linear story that kind of has a Control-esque fake out credit roll that doesn't actually conclude the game. So that being said, to fully beat it, it took me about 38 hours of time, which is not long for a JRPG. Other things to talk about: the story in the game is fucking awesome. It's very well done. It has all the right twists, turns, and bumps that you would expect from a great JRPG. There's this character in the game whose name is Garl, and Garl is basically like your friend Jesus. Garl does absolutely no wrong. He is your best friend on the whole planet. He will take bullets for you, and quite literally does twice. And he's basically the coolest character to ever pop into a JRPG as your companion.
Fully agree. He's one of my favorite video game characters ever.
Garl is one of the all-time best. And the whole premise of the story unfolds in ways that you definitely won't expect, and is just extremely well done. So that's spoiler-free. I don't want to spoil anything for those that haven't undertaken the game yet, because you absolutely should play it. There's very little excuse not to. It's on Game Pass, and as well, it's on PlayStation Plus Extra. So there's lots of ways to play it for free, and it's very affordable otherwise if you just wanted to buy it, which I would also recommend.
And it's currently on sale on Steam for like 23 something right now.
Even better. So that leaves me with, how do I view Sea of Stars? There was a bold claim made here on the show that it was better than Chrono Trigger, which I cannot agree with at all.
Okay.
Chrono Trigger is a very time and place kind of game.
Yep.
And the fact that it came out in 1994, wasn't it? And did that back then 30 years ago, definitely gives it a leg up. And it's also that that game didn't have to look to something else and say, I'm going to do that to a T. It invented it. So I don't think Sea of Stars is better than Chrono Trigger. However, I would say that if you like Chrono Trigger and you want the game that is most inspired by it, Sea of Stars is a worthy recommendation. That being said, where do I rank Sea of Stars? It is this year, I feel like I am IGN. Sea of Stars is a 10 out of 10. It is a flawless.
Wow, let's go.
It is a flawless game. No technical issues with it. Brilliant story, beautifully paced. It's a game I'll remember forever, and it's the first game I've played to eclipse triangle strategy in the genre that I play so heavily. So, I would say of current JRPG masterpieces, it's Sea of Stars, triangle strategy right beneath it. So it is a must play for sure. Everyone will like it. I couldn't not recommend it to anyone. So play Sea of Stars, please.
One little thing you didn't mention is the combat also has a dash of Super Mario RPG with all the timed attacks and timed blocks and stuff.
Yes, very reminiscent to Mario RPG. I think when I was watching you play it, I caught that immediately, that you have the time bonus for doing a double attack and the time defense to limit the amount of damage you take. So that was a welcome addition in that as well. I have also been playing Manhunt on the PS2. This is not going to be for everyone. I mean, this game has aged like fucking dirt. The tank controls, you strafe with the RT and LT buttons. If you try and touch the right stick to move your camera, A, it's inverted, and B,
Oh,
If you're not walking, it throws you into a weird first-person view where you can't see around corners or anything from the third-person aspect that you're playing in. And it's basically built on the Grand Theft Auto 3 combat platform, which is terrible. That being said, I'm loving every second of this game, so it's perfect for someone like me, and it's been everything that I dreamed it would be and ever wanted. So I'm playing Manhunt on the PS2, and finally, I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've cleared the first 3 chapters of this game, and it's very pretty, and I don't like it. So there's that. So I
okay.
did recently play Final Fantasy VII, the OG, and I make no bones that I love turn-based RPG games. They have taken it, and the new combat system, which people talk about a lot, and a lot of people talk about lovingly, is perplexing to me. It's basically turned it into a game where you relentlessly mash the square button on your PlayStation controller, and it's not great. I can't imagine why anyone thought that combat system was anything to write home about as being wonderful. So it is nice to see all the characters in the beautiful updated graphics. I will probably play it for that and that alone. But the actual gameplay in it is fucking rubbish. And I imagine that I'll feel the exact same about Rebirth. So that's the last I will say about that, because you probably don't want me slagging Final Fantasy VII every week. So that is all I have to say about its combat. Its combat is fucking awful. And they should have just kept it turn-based. I don't know why you would say, hey, we have a game that's considered the greatest game of all time by many. Let's turn it into Dynasty Warriors. So, but they did. And but a lot of people like it. So, I'm probably in the minority here. The surprise minority, like, I'm the guy that feels chicken wings should only be consumed with blue cheese and that ranch is for communists.
Amen.
But it turns out there was a poll done, and I am in an extreme minority there. Most Americans prefer ranch. So
Get out of here.
Really?
yeah, something like 6-4 ranch.
Oh.
60-40.
No.
Yeah, we're wildly team blue cheese is team old school Final Fantasy VII combat. We are in the minority, even though it's better. So, fuck you all. I will have blue cheese with my buffalo wings because I love
100%. Me too.
democracy and freedom, and you are communist bastards. Enjoy your ranch.
Okay.
That rounds out what I've been playing this week. Kim,
Yes.
let's bring it back to you. What have you been up to this week?
Many. I've been up to many much. Still playing Far Cry 6 with RTM. We pop on a couple times a week to co-stream it, and it is ridiculous fun. Like, stupid, ridiculous fun. Me falling off of cliffs, getting attacked by Rottweilers and coyotes and gators, and it is honestly just an absolute blast. Do I know what's happening with the story? Not one bit, because we're too busy laughing and talking through the entire story, so I have no idea what's going on. Poison, tobacco, Gus Fring.
Accurate.
That's all I know.
It's a really good story.
That's all I know.
Accurate.
That's really all I know.
Freedom.
Did you get to the punk rock chicken yet?
We did, but I have to get through it on my playthrough for me to have him. And I want him, but I had to do that quest for RTM because he refused to shoot the Rottweilers, and I was like, turn away. I will do this because I'm going to have to do it for myself anyway because I want Chicharrone. And so I'm going to have to do it for myself. So I'll do it for you too.
Chicharrone is the best.
So I did it for him so that he could have the beautiful rooster. Although I will not do any cockfighting because for those of you who don't know, I was a cruelty investigator and I quite literally had to euthanize with my partner 40 roosters in the back of a van.
Oh my God.
Because they were all cockfighting roosters that we broke up a ring to. And so I will not do that aspect of the game. Thank you. But yeah, it's been really, really, really fun. Like really fun. I also finished I finished Fractured But Whole, and then this week I finished Fractured But Whole DLCs. The 2 DLCs from Dusk Till Casa Bonita and Bring the Crunch. I
Fucking Casa
cannot
Bonita.
explain. I can't express how much I loved both of these DLCs. They had no right to be as good as they are. They were absolutely astounding, and I wish I could play them again for the first time because they were that good. They were that good. I was blown away, and they were so fun, and I got through it, and we picked out a new game, which I also already beat out of my lovely fishbowl. But yeah, it was that was fun. The South Park series was fun to get through. I'm going to be getting Snow Day, even though the reviews have been womp womp.
Rough. Good thing with the good ones, Stick of Truth and Fractured But Whole. I know those are on PlayStation Plus right now. I don't know if they're on Game Pass and all that, but I know they're on. For PlayStation people, you can check it out with your subscription.
Cannot recommend them enough. They have no right to be as good as they are. I love them so much. I do. I got House Flipper 2 from the publishers. And it's
Nice.
just as it's like the chill vibe of House Flipper 1, but with quality of life improvements. And it's a really good game. We sat here and we vibed out, and I did some nice stuff to the house and cleaned it up and all that stuff. And my chat was just hanging out, and we just kind of chilled and did it. And it was really cool. Very, very cool game. And I'm so excited to have it because I love the first one.
If you ever play the first House Flipper and you want to play it with drunk goggles on, play it on the Nintendo Switch. Oh my God.
Why is it bad?
I have it on the Switch, and it runs. It's you feel like you're drunk when you're playing it. And like, if you actually got drunk and then played the drunk version of House Flipper on the Nintendo Switch, you might actually spontaneously combust. So I'm excited to check. I'm excited to check out the new one on PC.
The second one is fantastic. Like, lots of really cool quality of life improvements. Really, really nice. I also got Bears in Space from the publisher, and it is a bizarre, really fun bullet hell, but first person, and you play as a person who has morphed with a bear. And it's fun and silly, and the voice lines are fantastic. It was honestly a really good time. Like, I was playing it on stream, and I'm like, I really have to end stream, but like, I really want to keep going. It's a fun game. It's a cool little indie game. Highly recommend it. It was honestly a lot of fun. It was really, really cool. I was kind of impressed with how fun it was. The voice lines are what did it. I'm looking
at the trailer. It looks like a lot of fun.
It's fun. Like, it's gonna be one of those games that nobody hears about, unfortunately. But you know me, I always end up with these like cool indie games, you know? And so that was one of them that I was like, yeah, I'll play it. Yeah, sure. And I went in kind of not expecting a whole lot, and coming out of it like, oh my God, this game is so ridiculously fun. So I highly recommend it. And I think it's a pretty low price point,
like
if I remember.
$20,
yeah. And I highly, highly recommend it. It's a really good one. It is. I obviously am still playing Skull and Bones. New like half season came out with a new ghost ship and new like some new gear you can buy and stuff like that. So Skull and Bones, I just love that game. The next game that we picked out after Fractured But Whole, for those of you who don't know, I have a big list of community suggested games, and if I have access to them, they go into this bowl. And when I finish a game, I pick out a new one, and that's what I play. But I started implementing, everybody was complaining they have nothing to do with their channel points on Twitch, and so I started implementing a lottery system. Mike had actually helped me like talk through how I was going to do this. And so basically you put in your channel points, everybody's name goes on a spin wheel, along with pick from the bowl is also on there. and then I spin it, and whoever wins it gets to pick my next game. So my buddy, the Inked Avenger, picked out, he said he wanted to do a game that was going to take me one stream so that we could do the lottery again. And so he picked Inside. Wow. Like, I loved every single solitary second of that game. It was by the same maker of Limbo. And it was dark and weird and just really good. The mechanics were real cool and the visuals were amazing. And man, I didn't want it to end. It's a short game and I did not want it to end, but it did. But it's great.
Yeah, I said while I was watching you play it, I'm like, oh my god, it's reminding me of Bramble. It's got those Bramble vibes.
It was, it's absolutely fantastic. I really loved it. And I'm sad that it ended so soon, but it's definitely one of those games. I think it's on Game Pass too, or PS Plus. It's on one of those. So if you have access to it, I highly, highly recommend it. It was absolutely astounding. Very dark, but very, very good. And then today, actually, I covered a game called Winter Survival. It used to be called Winter Survival Simulator. It's by the same people who did, they did, I think, Gas Station Simulator and Food Truck Simulator. So they came out with this Winter Survival game. I got it from them. And unfortunately, this morning, I wasn't in a really great mindset this morning to be in a survival game. I kind of had some anxiety this morning and kind of stressed out this morning. But I did play a bunch of it, and I said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to submit this content to them. I'm going to stream it again next week because I really liked it. The mechanics of the game were pretty deep. Like, you have to like you get dirty as you go, and you have to literally take off your gear, make a drying line, put them on the drying line, wash yourself off in the water, put your, wait till your clothes are dry, put them back on. It literally is a winter survival simulator, but there's also a story to it. So I really, really liked it. And it has mixed reviews on Steam, but I really enjoyed it so far. So I want to go back into it and start over when I'm kind of in a better mindset. But even with the shit mindset I was in, I really, really liked it. So if you're into and it's not tree punching survival, it's like build a fire, hunt, get the meat, get the pelt, it's not just like it's a really good survival game. So if you're into like simulation survival, I definitely recommend it. And I can't wait to get back into it when I'm kind of feeling more like at ease. I think I'll really dig it. So that's it. That was my week.
Have you ever played Gas Station Simulator?
I have not.
As a fellow ADHD person, I highly recommend it.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you need to play that.
No, because our brains are wired to be able to do 10 things at once, and that is what Gas Station Simulator is. It's literally like, let me finish changing the tire in the garage so I can get paid there. And then I need to go. I got 3 people waiting to be rung up. Oh, God, I got to take the trash out. Oh, shit, I got to mop the floor. Oh, wait, I got a shipment coming in. Oh, fuck, we're out of sodas.
So it makes your brain buzz, which is what I love.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
no,
okay,
dude.
Good.
You can ask Mike. When I streamed that game, I went so fucking hard on Gas Station Simulator for like a week. I could not stop.
It's
I could not stop.
Get it. I'm gonna have to get it.
It's on sale on a PlayStation Store right now for $13.99.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with Gas Station Simulator. So Winter Survival, I'm intrigued by.
Yeah, I was. It had mixed reviews. I have a contact over at a PR group. Her name is Kate with Vicarious PR, and she's absolutely wonderful. And she's one of those people. One time she reached out and was like, "Hey, this particular game has mixed reviews, but the devs have been working really hard on making it better. Would you be interested in streaming it?" And I was like, yes, because it's so hard in this day and age. Like, as an indie dev, it is so hard to come out with a game that people just don't trash. The second they find something they don't like, they're trashing it. And so when I saw that Winter Survival had mixed reviews, and I was like, but it's by the same people who did like Gas Station Simulator, which I know is fantastic. I was like, yeah, I need to stream this to see how it is and to see if it deserves better reviews. And in my opinion, in just the time I played today, I think it does deserve better reviews. It's not easy. It's not a forgiving game. It's not as hard as The Long Dark. That game is rough as far as like winter survival goes. But from what I've gotten from it so far, I really, really liked it. And I don't think it deserves like the negative reviews that it's gotten. So I'm really happy I was able to stream it. But I want to stream it again in a better mindset. And for a nice, I did a real short stream today because we were going, our buddy Gravy is visiting, and so we went to dinner with my son and everything. So, but I want to like dedicate an entire stream to it and see how far I can get and how deep the game goes. And I really dug it a lot. I really did. And I love that I can showcase games like that, you know, that kind of have gotten a bad rap because people don't give games a chance these days, you know.
Indeed.
Mhm.
Johnny, I think that brings us to you, sir, and what you've been playing this week. So what gigantic RPGs are you working on?
I am 40 plus hours into Dragon's Dogma 2. And I can see why this game is getting hyped. There's an independence that you're given in Dragon's Dogma that you don't get in a lot of RPGs. And what I mean by that is there is not a traditional skill tree where when I level up, I'm given a point and then I put it here instead of there. The way the game works basically is you start at the beginning of the game and it says, do you want to do a ranger or a thief or a mage or a warrior or, you know, your basic RPG classes. And the more you play that class, similar to Skyrim, they call it your vocation. So you will level up your vocation, and then when you go back to the vocation guild master, if you've leveled up, you can now get new abilities or level up the abilities that you have. But at any point in time, you can go to that vocation guild master, as long as you have the points, which is not hard. You can go, you know what? I'm going to try ranger. And you spend the points, and the vocation guild master says, here's a full armor set and a weapon, and here's a couple starting spells, and you are now a ranger. Enjoy. And then the more you play the ranger, you level up and you spend those points. You now have those. And then you go, well, that was fun. I leveled up a little bit. Let me go back to my main mage. And you go back and, you know, you got to go to the inn and swap your clothes and shit. But other than that, like, you're not stuck in one direction. And then one of the other things that makes this game very different is the fact that you have pawns. So as the Arisen is able to pull these people out of the multiverse. So these are all pawns that adventure with other Arisens and other universes, and you bring them into yours. Now, what's really interesting about this concept is you grow attachments to some of these random characters. So let me tell you about Danny DeVito. One day I'm questing around in Dragon's Dogma 2, and a warrior comes up to me, and he's a big chubby guy, and he's short and stout. He's got a big helmet over his head, and from 50 feet away, I'm like, it looks like fucking Danny DeVito walking over there. And he comes up to me, and he's a pawn. Greetings, Arisen. I am, a straightforward warrior that will always be at your side in battle. And his name is Danny. And I'm like, oh, Danny DeVito is on the fucking team. Let's go. So Danny DeVito was one of my pawns for like a solid 2 days until me and my pawns went to go face an ogre. And that ogre yeeted Danny DeVito right off a fucking cliff. Danny is now dead and no longer in my game. R.I.P. Danny DeVito. You find these rift stones everywhere in the game, and at any point in time, you can go to these rift stones and you can swap out any of your pawns. So all of these pawns have their own quirks and their own eccentricities. And then what's really fucking cool about that is, like, you'll get somebody on your team that is a logistician, which means that as you loot random things that can be combined into potions and upgraded food and shit, they'll do it automatically out of your inventory. So you'll just be running around and looting shit, and then it'll be like, boop, potion, potion, potion. Like, oh, that's right, I got somebody on my team that does that. And then you'll have a member of your team that they're charging into battle way before you are. But at any point in time, if I'm like, we're a little melee heavy, I feel like this pawn's not really pulling his weight, I can go into the Riftstone and I'm greeted by, I don't know, 25 or 30 pawns that are all created by real people. Real people sat down and made these characters and designed them with the same level of detail that I put on my main character. So you'll find these really cool looking characters. Some are beautiful women, some are really cool fucking lion men and all that shit. But basically in the game, you have your main character and then you have your main pawn. And those you can change your pawns, your main pawn's vocation. They can be whatever the fuck class you want, similar to you. So you know what? He's not really working as a warrior. Let me make him a mage. You can do that. And he will level up that thing. And he can, so at any point in time, you can go, I want to be all casters, or I want to be all warriors, or I want to be 2 rangers and a mage but dude, I cannot stop playing this game. It is addictive. It is a big wide open world. There will often be it's not often I play a game where I'll have a 3-4 hour session where story-wise I didn't accomplish much. I really just kind of ran down this path and killed a bunch of monsters and looted that shit and got battled this or that. But I still I'm enjoying my time with it. Like similar to a game like Skyrim where you just want to keep playing. And that's totally where I'm at with this. But there'll be times when you'll decide to pick a fight with an elemental and then a griffin will come out of the sky. And then now you're fighting an elemental and a griffin at the same fucking time. Dragon's Dogma 2 is awesome. This I think is going to be a game of the year contender. I'm not saying it's a masterpiece. I do have some complaints with it. It feels the words I used when I played Elden Ring is I said that it felt like it was intentionally obtuse in some ways. I feel like this game has a little bit of that. There are some parts of it that feel a little too old school for me. Some of it doesn't quite feel like next gen. There's still a lot of performance issues on PC when you're in the main town. Even on my 3080, it'll dip down to like 40 something frame rate, which I'm not really used to in most games. But generally speaking on PC, if you're playing it on PC, turn DLSS on and set the frame rate limit to 60 frames per second. The game just runs better and smoother if you just do that. But
everything
outside...
I've seen about it too, and this is just one of those ones that's worth noting, is that if you just straight up don't want to have those issues, play it on a PS5 because
so it runs great on PS5.
It's very poorly optimized for PC and very nicely optimized on the PlayStation.
But yeah, I mean, I'm it's not every day I get an RPG that I can't stop playing and I don't really have a lot of gripes about. So I'm really excited about it. Moving on to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, or as I would like to rename it officially, Final Fantasy VII the mini games. This game has 70% too many mini games. If they took all of the mini games that I've done so far and eliminated 7 out of 10 of them, my enjoyment level, it would gain an entire point in my opinion right now. Without getting into any story spoilers, there is a part in Final Fantasy VII where you get to like kind of a theme parky sort of casino-y sort of area. And then the romance is starting to blossom a little bit between Cloud and Aerith, and you're going to go out on a date. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be cute. My wife's watching me play this game the whole time. And instead of like anything in that happening, I do a motorcycle simulator, which I'm going to get a piece of gear upgrade if I get the max score. So that means I'm going to do this fucking motorcycle simulator for like 30 minutes to try to get the top score. Okay, cool. Got that. What else are we doing on this date? Oh, there's a fucking Rock'em Sock'em robot fighting simulator. Oh, great. I get gloves for Tifa if I get max on that. Let's fucking do that. I finish all those mini games. I get a cinematic that carries me into the next story. And they're like, okay, well, you need to do this. And in order to do this, you have to get these items. And in order to do those items, here's some more fucking mini games. I have had 3 sessions with this game where I have not like done shit outside of cinematics and walking to the next goddamn mini game. The combat in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, in my opinion, is drastically improved from the first. There's one setting you can change to where when you hold your left trigger, you can access the spells with party member number 2. And if you hold the right trigger, you can access the spells with party number 3. And you can do this in real time. So I can just be fighting with Cloud and go, Aerith, heal Barret, done. And it is very, very well done. And the combat is great. The graphics are phenomenal. Some of the cinematics in this game are some of the best next-gen shit I've ever seen. Right now, I wish I could go into settings and just be like, turn the fucking mini games off. Now, that being said, I've read a lot of great reviews and a lot of people calling it a 10 out of 10 and a masterpiece this and amazing that. I really hope this game sticks the landing, but right now I am just really, really fucking tired of these mini games. And I'm not like near the beginning of the game. I mean, I feel like I'm probably halfway point, maybe more. I don't know, but God, it feels like mini game after mini game after mini game.
I hate to say it, but I feel like a lot of times games like, especially a game like the Final Fantasy franchise, you get a lot of like fanboys who will give the game 10 of 10 just because it's Final Fantasy.
Right. Yep.
You know, I mean, there are a lot of franchises like that, but I'm just saying I could see people giving it a 10 of 10, even if it's not a 10 of 10 because it's Final Fantasy.
Mike, I don't know if you're muted or what, but we can't hear you.
I'm totally muted. On the other end, if you hate on it, then you're just a cliche purist. So
right,
it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, kind of thing.
Well, yeah. The frustrating thing for me is like I am a Final Fantasy VII fan, and I enjoyed the last one, and I was really looking forward to playing this game, and I want to enjoy the story. Like, give me Cloud and Aerith and Barret and Red, and like, let's go. We got to save the fucking world. Why are we running around playing arcade games?
Tifa not be the first name out of your mouth, sir?
Yeah. I'm not a Tifa fan. I love Tifa, but if she were a real person, she'd fall over in real life. I'm not a.
And I would catch her. I would catch her. She would not fall over.
No, I
would fall over trying to catch her.
The stakes in Final Fantasy VII are so fucking high that it's just impossible to imagine these characters wasting their time on all this other dumb shit. It's like you literally have to save the fucking world. Why are we playing a Star Fox simulator right now? Like, what the fuck is happening? But again, I'm hoping that this game sticks the landing. Everyone is giving it rave reviews. I'm hoping that the clouds will open up and I'll be like, thank God we're back into the game. But dude, it's been 3 play sessions of like, if I get another goddamn minigame, I'll fucking lose my mind. I'm so over it. But that's what I've been playing. I got about 40 plus hours into Dragon's Dogma and something 30-40 hours into Final Fantasy.
That is a lot of RPG, sir.
It's a lot of RPG.
That's a lot of RPG.
This brings us to the final segment of this week's show. I'm not going to hit the button so I don't have to edit it into the video because Riverside does not time align it, and that was a huge pain in my fucking ass last week.
Oh no! So you have to put it in afterwards?
No button. The buttons are gone because I'm lazy.
Damn it!
But it's time for one up, and I'm going to get us started this week. My one up this week is a question. It's a question to both my fellow hosts here as well as you out there listening. The question is, should I sell my Xbox Series X and do something more productive with the money that I get from it than having a plastic paperweight that is fucking the most useless console I have ever bought in my goddamn life? Here's the justification behind that statement.
I think you answered your own question, though.
Hellblade 2 is the next Xbox game that I'm excited for. And I was really excited for Redfall. And Redfall's frame rate on Series X was so fucking terrible that it actually made me sick, and I had to play it on PC. Then Starfield came out, and I physically bought Starfield on disc to play it on my Series X, and the frame rate was so bad that it physically made me sick, and I had to play it on fucking PC. Hellblade 2 confirmed 15 hours ago, as news broke from GamePro. GamePro breaking news in 2024. Who remembers GamePro? This guy. Hellblade 2 is going to be locked at 30 frames on Xbox Series X.
Yep.
No fucking
And if
way.
you want
30
higher
frames
frame
locked.
rate on that game, you have to play it on PC.
No way. You
Yep.
need higher frame rate on that game. That game, oh my god, that's like a sin. That's like a sin.
So, and the justification being given by Ninja Theory's Mark Slater Tunstall is complete horseshit. As quoted from the article, news broken by GamePro, article I'm reading, quoting from Video Games Chronicle. Quote, the game's visual effects director, Mark Slater Tunstall, reportedly told GamePro that the decision to lock it at 30 frames per second should make the experience feel more, quote unquote, cinematic, similar to movies
Get the
that
fuck
run
out
at
of
24
here.
frames per second. So if that's the
No.
case, Mark, then why does it run at a higher frame rate on PC? If your art direction was to make it look like a movie, then you're full of shit, because it's not the art direction, because I can run at a higher frame rate on PC. They tried to say the same shit with Starfield, and I mean, it's just unplayably bad on console. And they say it's 30 frames.
That's
and
such
I feel,
a bullshit
I feel
reasoning.
Like it's way
That's
less.
so bad.
And I know what's happening here. We're catering to the lowest common denominator. Having the Series S in this generation was the dumbest fucking thing they ever did. Because when they make the console releases of this, they're not going to make two different versions for what's essentially an Xbox One and the Xbox Series X. Because the S is quite literally an X. It's not even as strong as the most powerful Xbox One.
Yep.
So my question is, should I just sell my Series X? Because this thing is just fucking worthless. Nothing comes out for it that I can
Sell
play
it.
on it. It's
there's no reason to. You have a PC.
I have a
So
great
why?
PC, and
so why bother?
You know, I have no reason to turn this fucking thing on. It's such a worthless console, and I'm sorry to people that that's where you've chosen to build your digital library, and that's where you've chosen to be invested in the gaming ecosystem. But the unfortunate reality is, if you don't think that you're suffering through this, you are. It's not like this on PlayStation. And the only reason it's like this at all it's my Nintendo Switch fucking has games that outperform what I play on the Series X. So my one up this week is the Series X sucks. And it's basically the worst system I've ever owned.
I'm going to put it to you this way. You could sell that. You could sell it and then put a few more bucks toward making me play Skull Island in a gorilla onesie. And that's a win right there.
It's worth more to me to pay $300 to watch you play Skull Island. I would actually spend more time doing that than I think I've spent playing my actual Series X in the past year.
I mean, sell it. There's honestly no reason for it, especially if you have a good PC.
The amount of money
days,
I've invested in games over there too. It's like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Next gen equals 60 frames per second minimum. The end.
Minimum.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's such bullshit that the X has the power.
They always try to fucking.
It has the power to do it. That's the frustrating part. Is because pound for pound spec wise, that thing can hang with a PS5 no problem.
Yep.
But this is a one-sided issue. This is an issue that console has, and none others do. And you just see it with first-party releases, and they're so fucking stupid letting this go on. So that's my one up this week. I've been very frustrated with my Series X because I want to use it. I like Xbox 360 was my system, and I've wanted to be part of that
same
ecosystem. But yeah, since the PS4, it's been an untenable place to take this shit seriously. So that is my well, not a third, because not even a third of gamers use that platform. 5 people are going to stop listening to this podcast now that I've said that. Sorry, 5 people, because statistically speaking, on how abysmal the sales of that system are, that is how many people main on that console that listen to the show. So I apologize to you 5. Please leave a 5-star review.
On your way out.
Johnny, on to you.
My one up. My one up. I'm really excited to announce that a game that I enjoyed quite a bit and flopped last year because it came out in a sea of huge video game releases is now coming to
It's
here
out
now already. Immortals of Avium is on PlayStation Plus.
For free.
Just the regular monthly. Just go add it to your account if you have a PS5. Or if you have an Xbox Series X, just sell it and get a PS5 and then log into your PlayStation Plus account and boom, Immortals from Avium right there. I don't think this game was like a 10 out of 10. It wasn't mind-blowing, but I had a lot of fun with it and the combat system and all the different spells and stuff you get throughout it. And I enjoyed the story, and I'm really kind of bummed that it flopped. So I'm hoping over here on the sidelines that maybe it will get a cult following now that it's on PlayStation Plus. More people are going to see it. Maybe there'll start be some rumblings to make another one, because I think this franchise, we don't get new IPs very often, and it sucks when a new IP comes out and it's really good and just no one noticed. And I feel like that was kind of the case with Immortals. Whereas like Forspoken, on the other hand, you're like, okay, you skip the sequel on that one. But Immortals of Avium, yeah, I liked it a lot. It's on PlayStation Plus. You should play it. It's fun.
I literally just went on to PlayStation.com, signed in, and added it to my library. Literally this very second. Yeah.
You will not regret it.
It is now yours as long as you are a PlayStation subscriber. So there you go. Yeah. Kim, that brings us to you. Do you have a one-up for us this week?
I do have a one-up. First of all, I do want to say I looked on Steam. I have Gas Station Simulator.
Oh, yeah.
I have it. Okay. Number 2. So my one-up is Once Human. The closed beta is going on. Started tonight. I'm going to be probably giving it a go. Maybe I'll download it tonight and try it. If not, then tomorrow. I did join their creator program. And I didn't get to play the first beta, but I got to watch some of it. And it's really bizarre and weird. And I think I kind of like it. So I'm going to be giving that a go. I don't know how long the beta is going to be going on for. It was originally scheduled for March 28th, and then they had to postpone it until tonight. So yeah, it just started April 3rd. Tonight is April 3rd for us. For those of you listening to this, we're recording on April. So it just started, and it should be going on by the time you listen to this, because it should be going on for a little while. But yeah, I just go give it a shot. Go give it a shot if you can. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? It's a tree puncher, but very different. Very, very different. Yeah, so it looks pretty cool, and it's MMO, and yeah, it's pretty neat. My buddy already has a server going, and I'm going to be popping on there, and yeah, I'm excited to give it a go.
Have you guys, if you've interacted with PlayStation at all in the past week and looked at the store, there's something very disturbing that's being advertised very strongly. And I'm wondering if you guys have seen it. Because my curiosity, I can't contain it any longer.
Where would you see it?
Potato Sack Racing Simulator 2024.
Sorry?
It's all over the front page of PlayStation Store, and I don't know if that's just for me or for anyone else, but it has a free demo.
What the fuck is this?
I don't even see it.
I think I might be playing Potato Sack Racing Simulator 2024 when we wrap up here in a few moments. So, wish me luck, I guess.
I don't have. I'm gonna have to log on to my PlayStation and see, because
the $20 basic normie edition.
I found it.
They have the $26.99 Digital Deluxe Mega Chad Edition for $26.99.
and a free demo, which is perfect because
what the fuck
I
is
think
this?
I'm going to be playing Potato Sack Racing Simulator 2024 here.
Oh my god!
So, wish me luck, guys.
I'm all about the memes, so I live that meme life. So this makes me happy.
I'm looking at a YouTube video. This is some dog right here.
For some reason, Johnny, I didn't quite get the vibe that I was looking at something that was going to be incredible.
No, dude, it's worse than whatever you're imagining.
So that's going to happen.
This is meme, 100% meme.
That brings us to the end of this week's episode of the Power Gamer Podcast. We will, of course, be back again next week with another great episode for you to enjoy. Till that time, I'm Mike Dawson.
And I'm Johnny Paulus.
And I am Kim, severely lacking Pixel Dicks Ponicello.
Oh, man. Gotta get Kim those Pixel Dicks.
I had a visitor this week, but next week I'm all into it.
And yes, I will have Tifa to keep me warm on the couch as I keep playing Final Fantasy. Tune in next time. Take care.
Catch y'all on the flip flop.
Yeah.